there, you're listening to the Oklahoma OnStage podcast. Here we sit down with the folks that make the magic happen on and off stage in the Oklahoma theater scene. We're glad you joined us. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And our website is oklahomaonstage.org. If you have any comments or questions, you can send them to us at oklahomaonstage@gmail.com. If you like the podcast, please leave us a rating and review and share with those you know. Let's not waste any more time, shall we? Grab a snack and a drink and take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Oklahoma on stage, the stories come alive. With drama, dance, and music, the arts always thrive. From center stage to backstage lore, Oklahoma on stage, there's always something more.
Welcome back to Oklahoma On Stage. We're glad you joined us. Today, we are joined by a true multi-hyphenated person from the Oklahoma City theater scene, actor, director, designer, and technician. He's been a part of this community since middle school, honing his craft at Oklahoma City University, where he earned a degree in acting with minors in directing and costume technology. Beyond the stage, he's a lighting designer and technician for multiple theaters around Oklahoma City. And by day, he serves as the program coordinator and artistic director at the Sellers Performing Arts Center with the Oklahoma City Parks and Recreation, shaping arts programming and opportunities for the community. Currently, you can catch him making magic in Lyric Theater's A Christmas Carol. His journey is one of passion, versatility, and dedication to the arts, and we're thrilled to have him share his story with us. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Oklahoma OnStage family, please join me in welcoming Isaiah Williams to the podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me. What an intro.
Isn't it great?
What an intro.
Right? Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you being really flexible. We've been trying to get connected for a while and finally get it done. And so that's really, really cool. So, hey, let's just, I always talk about the elephant in the room. It's always the first question right off the bat. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in theater.
Oh, wow. So a little bit about me. I've been involved in theater since I was about 8 years old. Elementary school, your elementary school plays, all that good stuff. The first play I ever did, I remember the name of it. It was called A Celebration of You and Me. I was the tallest in my second grade class, so it was a lovely picture of me in my yearbook. There's all these little short kids, and then boom, and then all the other little short kids. And so it kind of like sparked from there. So throughout the summers, when I got about 9 or 10, there's a church down the street from my house where I was growing up, and they would do like a half-day theater camp, and we would do a full musical in a half a day. Yeah, we start 9 a.m. We would start auditions, singing, coaching, etc., and then wrap up at noon, and came in Monday through Friday for 2 weeks and did that and put up a show the second Friday. And so it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
That's what you call a theater intensive.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I did that for about 3 or 4 summers, and then in middle school, I went to Independence Charter Middle School, which is just down the street from Northwest Optimist Performing Arts Center, and they had a partnership in which the kids from the school would be bused to Northwest Optimist, and they do a class every Tuesday and Wednesday. So I didn't do it the first semester of my middle school year, so 6th grade. I didn't do it the first semester, but I went and watched the show at the end of the semester. They bust all the kids over to watch the show per grade, and I've never seen anything like it. I became obsessed. I was like, okay, this is exactly what I need to be doing. This is so much fun. Those kids have the time of their lives, singing, dancing, acting, all of the above. I was like, this is so cool. So second semester I joined, and really and truly I haven't left since then. I did, I want to say like 6 semesters, not 6, 5 semesters when it was all said and done. And then I did summer camp, starting in like 7th grade. And then I kept doing summer camp for well into high school. And summer camp is that's when things get fun because it is that 2 weeks. We come in 2 weeks, 8 to 5, and we're doing a full show by the end of the session.
Wow.
And so that like primed me for that kind of like speedy kind of work. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I looked forward to seeing my camp friends more than I look forward to seeing my school friends. Because like that's what got me through the school year. It was like, we're going to camp this summer. I get to see these people. We're going to hang out literally 8 to 5 every day.
Right.
And we're doing multiple camps a year. Like we're sitting here, like I would do 3 camps sometimes in a summer.
Wow.
Because it was so much fun and I couldn't get enough of it. And then I got to a point where I was volunteering at camp. I was, helping paint sets, helping with lighting and sound and things like that. And excuse me. And it got to a point where I was like, I want to start working here. So I started working at Parks when I was 16. I still helped out with sets, still helped out where I could on the theater side. Excuse me. My goodness. Thank you, Winter.
So it's that time of year.
It's that time of year. And so continue to help out through all through high school. And then I started teaching just after I graduated college. So I was doing small things here and there. We would help with the STEAM program, the science, technology, engineering, arts, and math program at a couple of the summer schools throughout the city as a part of my job at Parks. And then I hit college. I went to college at OCU, Oklahoma City University. I was my freshman year. Let me backtrack a bit, actually. There's a better story that I can think of now that I thought of. Just end that part out.
It's your time, brother.
So my junior year of high school was my first time doing community theater, like at all, anywhere, shape, or form, beyond summer camp and things like that. And so it was the community theater premiere of The Color Purple at Poteet Theater in 2012. And I had never been a part of something like that before because the rehearsal period is longer. Evening rehearsals. I learned how to drive specifically so I can go to rehearsal. That was the only reason I learned how to drive.
Nice.
It's just something about that because it's one of my favorite movies. First off, one of my favorite movies. I weep and wail every time I watch it. Something about being able to take that movie and put it in front of people and have the visceral reactions in that crowd every single night. And mind you, the second half of the run was we did 8 shows a week because it just gotten so popular. The return on it was so amazing. And something about like being in that room, we're all together in the dark and we're watching these people experience this and it's viscerally hitting you as an audience member. Like, it's not so removed that you're like, oh, that could never happen. But because you've seen it before, A, it's a movie. B, the way the writing and the show is constructed, it takes you everywhere these characters are going to. So you have no choice but to weep, but to laugh, I had people who were like yelling at the stage at one point in time and I ate it up. And so it was coming to the end of the show and I realized that like, I need to make a decision that this is what I want to do with my life. Because there's junior year, like I have 1 year left, I got to figure something out. And I truly could not imagine doing something else.
Nice.
I can't. And yes, this industry is goofy and hard and stupid and it's politics and it's money. But when we break it down to what it actually is, it's about connection.
Yes.
And how we reach each other, not just audience to stage to audience, actors within a company themselves. How do we relate to each other?
Yeah. And
so I carried that feeling and that love for theater into college where, you take all your classes, you take your acting classes, all of that stuff, in your gen eds that I didn't struggle through my gen eds, but I also did not have a good time.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know. But then also, along the way, discovered my love of construction and working with my hands. So I tacked on my costume technology minor, and that was just fun for me to explore. To be able to have a design background and be able to have a construction background.
Yeah,
I remember. I'll tell this story too because it was a wild ride. Will I get in trouble? I don't know. It'll be fine. I'm grown.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Tell it anyway.
So my sophomore year of college, this is when I added my minor because I was like, it's just a couple extra classes. I already got to take a couple extra classes anyway to get a directing minor too. Might as well just throw it all in together, call it a day. And so I started my minor by taking a class called Draping and Patterning. It is a fascinating class. I will tell you that it's fascinating to see how garments are constructed, to see like how to make something from fabric into a pattern and then back into fabric again. It was the hardest class I think I've ever taken.
Challenging, huh?
Challenging. We had a project due every week.
Oh my goodness.
And that means we drape the garment, or whether it's a bodice, whether it's a collar, what have you. We drape it, we put it in a paper, you make the paper pattern out of it, and then you cut it out and make a mock-up to see if your pattern worked.
My
And that for every week for a semester.
goodness.
Needless to say, I struggled
Yeah.
because, I mean, you're tackling a new skill that you've never done before. But also, I didn't realize how long sewing takes me sometimes. It takes a lot longer than I expected it to.
Yeah.
And so we would, and this is everybody in the class. So we would have to like camp out in the costume shop the night before project was due. We're hiding from the police because the police come around and do like checks. And so we would hide in the dressing room. We would hide in the dressing room in the costume shop. And then it got to a point where they were like, y'all are still in there? Y'all are good? We're like, we're good. We're having a conversation with the cops. And they're like letting us continue to work.
See, theater is full of all kinds of juvenile delinquents, and
Hey. I mean, hey.
there is something for everybody.
Exactly. I mean, I had a professor tell me once that actors were buried in unmarked graves. And I'm like, you know what? You're right.
That's right.
Absolute delinquency.
That's right.
But yeah, so that was the hardest class I ever took. But I'm so glad I took it because now I can like look at a garment and be like, oh, this is how this is made. And I can try to replicate it. I'm not perfect.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. But I can try to like figure it out and replicate based off of that knowledge now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, who were some of your early influences and mentors that helped guide you along that path?
Oh man, my earliest mentor, it's a weird combination of people. It is my first music teacher that I can remember. Her name is Miss Delisa Muse. She, first off, was just a badass. She's such a cool teacher. Oh my God, I loved her. And she taught us like the basics of music theory. And I hate music theory now because it just makes not a lick of sense to me. But I know my notes. I can figure it out.
There you go.
Thanks to Miss Muse. And she was the first person to ever show me at least, The Wiz. I had never heard of The Wiz before.
Yeah.
And I had never seen, first off, an adaptation like that. And second off, to see a bunch of like black folks on screen, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell, not Nipsey Russell. Yes. Doing musical theater. I had never experienced that before.
Yeah.
And so it always was a class that I carried with me. And so because I loved her, I joined my elementary school choir for 3 years. So much fun. Had a great time. Sang all across Oklahoma City. And then in fourth grade, my fourth grade teacher, my homeroom elementary teacher, Miss Paula Washington. I love this woman because the way she taught was so thoughtful to the kids she was teaching to. She made it so much fun. Learning was such a fun time. We had this whole Elizabethan England unit where she became a queen and we were her subjects. So every law she made, we had to follow in class. It was just so much fun. But I bring her up specifically because she is who I owe my like love of Shakespeare to.
Mm.
She would do every year, and I'm sitting in a theater right now, so I'm not going to say the name. She would do
Scottish play.
Yes, an adaptation of the Scottish play every year. And to like watch her break down Shakespearean structure to us made it make so much more sense. And it felt way less daunting as a fourth grader.
Yeah. Wow.
As a fourth grader.
See, I wish I had a teacher like that.
Like, yeah, it's like she would, because the way she approached it was like a group of fairies like had to like teach this kid Shakespeare or from the past class so they can like level up in the fairyland, whatever that land may be, I can't remember. So having that as a kind of a frame story in a way in helped all of us be like, oh, this is why. This is what they're fighting for. This is what these characters within the Scottish play are fighting for. And it made it so much more approachable.
Yeah.
And cool and fun and interesting. And like I will never forget that as long as I live, because that truly kind of just changed the course of how I think about theater.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then middle school hit. And of course, I got to meet my now mentor and friend and colleague, Toby Tobin. She has been a part of my life for going on 12, 13 years now. I might start crying. Oh my God. She's one of my favorite people in this world. She is hilarious and smart and brilliant. She taught me all of like, as you're stepping into like the world of acting, here's what kind of these things look like. Here's what a beat is. Here's how you build a character. Here's how you warm up to be an actor. Here's how you warm up your voice and things like that. And she put us in around these strong artists and teachers and things like that. So like I had choreographers that have worked for Oklahoma City Ballet. I've had choreographers that like own their own dance companies and whatnot at a community center, which is just, it's fascinating to me. And so I will always treasure our relationship because she really fights for every single one of her students to be, whether or not they want to do this for the rest of their life or not, to be the best version of themselves that they can be. And this place is so inclusive to people from all walks of life and all life that walks. And so I've had the fortunate of working with so many different people, so many different walks of life coming into this building and being a part of the programming that Toby has begun for. She began our performing arts programming at Parks.
Wow.
She's the founder.
Nice.
And so I owe a lot of what I do to her.
That's really cool. And I love that she's willing to step up and not only pour herself into anybody and everybody, but like you said, stand up for them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, especially in an environment like this, some of these kids don't have anybody to do that. Mm-hmm. They don't have any representation. They don't have anybody to be there for them. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Very much like you said, a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So you said your junior year was your first show in community theater.
Yes, sir.
So what's it like entering into the Oklahoma City community theater community at such a young age?
I was terrified. I was terrified because I have never done a singing audition. Well, that's not true. I did singing auditions all through camp. And so you get comfortable in like that environment of like how this functions and da-da-da-da. But when you start realizing that like, yes, it functions similarly, but not quite the same way. It's like, oh, what did I get myself into? Oh no! Wait, am I ready for this? The other question I was like, am I ready for this? But
funny thing is adults do the same thing.
Yes. And yeah, it was a little terrifying. I'm not gonna lie to you, because these people were seasoned auditioners and like had know like what to do when you walk into the room, how to give music to the music director or what have you. To have music for one thing. I walked in and I didn't have sheet music to save my life. I walked in and sang a cappella, which I know it's the cardinal sin of musical theater auditions. But you got to do what you got to do.
With it. Got to do what you got to do. And it worked, apparently.
And it worked. And I am grateful that it did.
There you go. See? That's the thing. Be creative. Be inventive.
Yeah.
And that's, sometimes it pays off.
And then be yourself. Like, I walked in and I was not myself when I walked into that room because I was so nervous. I could have fallen over. I was so nervous. But you have to remember that, like, the people behind the table have a problem to solve. And they are hoping that you are the answer to that problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else I can say about that first audition. So, first audition or first experience overall? Or both?
Sure.
Great. So when we started rehearsal, I think that's the first time I'd ever seen a rehearsal process like that, where we're in there 3 hours a night, 4 hours a night, 5 nights a week, rocking it out, trying to get everything done, trying to get it all knocked down and locked in. Because I've been used to, 2 weeks or across a full semester. And so it was really cool to kind of watch everything. I would just go and watch.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wouldn't be called some nights. I would just sit there and like watch all of this happen. Because you watching artists work is so fascinating, and how everybody kind of pulls this thing together.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's such a fascinating thing to watch. And because of that, I got pulled into a lot more things than I expected to be pulled into.
You're here, you volunteer.
Exactly. And so, I was in like 3 extra numbers. I was like, okay, sure, why not? And so it's just a fun time. I just wanted to have a good time. I want to have a good time and like try something new.
Yeah. And I think that's the idea, the mentality that even whether you're a beginner or
Right.
you, like you said, been a seasoned auditioner, actor, whatever, have fun.
Exactly.
And like you said, try something new.
We do plays for a living. Or maybe not a living, but like we do plays.
Yeah.
We do plays.
It's a word there. It's a play.
It's a play.
We're having fun.
Thank you. If we're not having fun, we're doing something wrong.
Right.
And yes, I get it. We have work to do. There's work to be done. Period. Point blank.
Sure.
The work has to get done.
And it is hard work.
It is hard work. It is hard work. But it's gotta have a place of joy and a place of playfulness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, do something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because again, and I've said this many times here and working with actors and everything else, our number one task as actors is storytelling.
Yes.
I mean, it goes back to the history of mankind. I mean, that's how history was passed down, was through stories. And if you do not enjoy what you're doing, it's going to come through in the story.
Exactly.
And you're not doing that story justice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so you graduated high school. Where did you go to high school, by the way?
Harding Charter Preparatory High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you involved in theater there? Oh, obviously.
I was indeed, actually. Yeah. We did one act at my school for 2 years in a row.
Okay.
And so I was in, my first one act was The Actor's Nightmare.
Okay.
Great play. Love it. Had a great time. My second one was Diary of Anne Frank. I was Mr. Von Don.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lovely, lovely time. And then we took a break. I don't think we did it again for the next 2 years after that. Well, when I was in high school. But my senior year, we did Little Shop of Horrors. It's our first musical my entire time. It's the only musical we ever did. We did musical reviews up to that point, but it was the first full-fledged musical we did. It was Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
And I was Audrey too.
Okay.
Had the time of my life.
Yeah.
The time of my life. It was so much fun.
Full body workout, isn't it?
Oh, no, I was not in the plan.
Oh,
you voice.
Oh, you were just the voice. Okay. All right. That works.
I was just the voice.
And you have the voice for it. So, you know. Okay, so you left high school. You went on to Oklahoma City University. Minor in directing and costume technology. Talk a little bit about that. How did that combination of acting, directing, and costume technology, all those disciplines, shape your approach to theater?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, at first, my approach was I wanted a job, and I wanted a job in theater, and so I was like, how do I get a job in theater? So I did a lot of stuff.
How'd that work out for you?
Oh well. We might be all right. We might be all right.
Always have a backup plan, right?
Always have a backup plan ready. But I knew I wanted my backup plan to be in theater because I was these damn artists, man. I love being an artist. I love these people, these creative people. I love them to death, and I want to be there for as many creatives as I possibly can be, which is a lofty task. And I know I'm not going to be able to do everything, but as a director and as a costumer, I want to support that creative vision as much as possible. And so, how they've shaped my kind of like entryway into theater is I kind of see things from all sides now. So as a director, or rather as an actor, I was told a lot of things the directors hate seeing. And then as a director, I started seeing those things. I was like, oh my God, I do hate that. Oh my God, that is, oh no, that's what I was doing? Oh, no. So it's kind of morphed how I walk into the room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so as how I walk into the room as an actor. I also believe in you have to human first before you can be an actor. And so
that's good.
I took time to human, especially during the pandemic. The pandemic kind of shifted how everybody views this industry.
Absolutely.
And how we needed to view our work as performers, our work as creatives. And I think what I took from that moment was I needed to be a human first. And so I didn't audition again until 2023. And I just got off an apprenticeship at that point in time. It was 2020 when I got my apprenticeship. And the world was shut down. And so it was about 3 years before I actually auditioned again. Because I needed to be a human being first. And then once I started doing that, I realized I walk into the room completely differently. Now I'm walking in, not having a conversation necessarily, but I'm walking in with the notion that these people have a problem. I'm hoping I'll solve the problem. And if I don't, that's fine. I had an audition. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in here and have a good time.
Yeah.
I stopped caring about, I say this with a caveat, care about your pieces that you're going to do, please don't walk in and do something that's absolutely out of character for you. Make sure you've done your research. Make sure you've read the play, etc. Do your research. But I started walking in with songs that I wanted to do and pieces that I wanted to do, and whether and make sure they fit the requirements. Make sure you fit the breakdowns and things like that. But as long as you feel good about pieces you're doing, can't nobody tell you nothing.
Right.
Go in there and have a good time. And so that's what I want to see as a director, is you picked a piece that you thoroughly enjoyed and you had a good time doing it.
Yeah.
And then as a designer, I find myself, especially in college, because we got to see like the design process from the beginning of like renderings and things like that. You don't necessarily get that opportunity in community theater. That's not a lot of time to see a full rendered design.
Yeah.
It's the fact of the matter. But starting to see like designs from renderings, I pull that thread as an actor of like, oh, this is what the textures of the fabric are. This is probably why they exist on this character. This is probably why this person wears this the way that he does. So that I'm using as like a root of, here's what I look like. How do we get to that point as an actor? And so, and then looking at it again from a director's angle, like broader vision of what the piece is going to look like and what the piece is going to do. I can sort of kind of assume where things are going to go, but also as an actor, you are one person or dealing with two people, so you don't see that giant grander vision.
Right.
And so I try as an actor to kind of like preempt that a little bit as much as I possibly can.
Okay.
Especially working in like when you're working in like your different staging styles, so your proscenium, your thrust, or what have you, kind of being ahead of the game of like, how can I make sure that my partner's still seen? How do I make sure that I can still be seen to help the director out in that way?
Okay.
Because I won't say I know what they're thinking. I would say I know where the thought is.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say that. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope all that.
You're fine. You're fine. It's all, yes. Oh, great. So pick your brain just a little bit from a director's point of view. I've heard differing viewpoints from this. You were talking about what directors hate seeing and things like that. I heard it said once before that I've heard the alternate, that when you go into an audition, you're not going into a job interview.
Right.
And so there's a bit of professionalism you need to take in there with you, but at the same time, if you go in there putting on a performance for the audition, then they're not going to get you.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're going to get a character of you.
Exactly.
So that's always one of the things that I've always kind of thought of, when it comes to the casting side of things is, am I seeing that person? Or am I seeing what they think I want to see?
Exactly that.
And I think that makes a difference.
Someone told me once that like, even with job interviews now, because not only are they interviewing you, but you're interviewing them as well.
Absolutely.
And I think the same thing applies in auditions as well.
Oh, sure.
So,
and granted, you're not going to see all of the director's style from that few moments.
Exactly.
But at the same time, they're not going to see all of your performing style in that few moments.
Exactly.
But you have to give them a behind the scenes insight. Just give them a taste, because it's the taste that brings it back. There you go.
And who am I going to be happy to be stuck with for 6 weeks? Like, once I cast you, we're in it to win it at that point.
Yeah.
Can we live together and be together for 6 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah, and I heard it from several people, and it's probably even more so once I got into voice acting. I heard this a lot. If a director asks you to do something again in an audition, asks you to do something again, or to clarify, so here, do that again, but try this. That means they saw something in you that they liked, but they wanted just to try just a little bit more. And so I've heard people say, well, if they asked me to do it, they just didn't like what I was doing. On the contrary, they liked what you were doing.
And they wanted to see what else you could do.
They wanted to see if you could do it a little bit different. Check your versatility. How can you change that up?
I've made people run laps in auditions before. I've made people run around the room. I've made them do jumping jacks. Oh, you should hear the stories about my auditions and my callbacks.
Oh, different show, but all right. Yeah.
I promise it's all wholesome fun. I swear to God it is. Suffer no illusion. It's all wholesome fun. I promise it is.
Okay, so back to OCU. What productions or experiences at OCU stand out as formative for you?
Ooh, all these good questions. I think the first show I ever did at OCU, and I was an understudy at the time, was a show called Picasso at the La Pana Gilles. by Steve Martin. That's the first play I've ever read that I fell absolutely in love with. Oh, it is such a good play, y'all. It is. Oh, it
I
makes
hear
me
that
feel
it's one
so
of his
happy.
best.
It is so good. It is so good. And like get these feelings of being an understudy as well was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. 'Cause I'm watching my overstudy and like seeing how he works because he's like a senior, junior, somewhere in there. And so like I'm looking up to this guy. I'm like, this is so cool. And you know, I'm a baby freshman. You know, any opportunity I get, I'm excited to do. But it like really kind of shaped how I wanted to perform because he was so free. He was up there having a great time. He really was thinking about anything too much. And that's what I always try to be as an actor is don't think about it too much.
Yes.
Go out there and you have done the work enough to be able to let the work go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think, so that was my first show. And then it was just an interesting time because I ended up doing my first main stage, like was in my first main stage, my sophomore year with a show called Water by the Spoonful, which is I got to direct a few years later. And I got to play a government employee who was a former crack addict. And this is the first time I'd ever like done some super deep character research. I went and sat in an AA meeting.
I was gonna say you didn't go do crack.
No, I did not go do crack. No. I couldn't do that. But I went and sat in an AA meeting. And I had all these preconceived notions about what AA meetings were.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. I imagined, like, you've seen Rent, how they're in the circle and it's in a gym and it's poorly lit. It's all blue. And that's what I was expecting. But it was the exact polar opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Folding chairs, comfy, well lit. There's a lot of love in that room and coffee. That was the one thing that I was like, oh, this like something about that like smell of coffee really like calmed me.
Oh yeah,
and made me feel so much less so much less isolated.
Right.
And I think that I let guide the rest of the characterization for this man is that ritual of going. Coffee in itself is a ritual, and so I even like advocated for us having coffee on the stage.
Oh nice.
Like we had like a live coffee pot that fell into the audience, but like the smell fell into the audience. It was immediate going back to that moment, but it just opened up this new world of like how addiction works for me. And that's when I fell in love with research.
Yes.
That's when I fell in love with research. Characterization and research is such a fun time for me. And I thoroughly enjoy getting to kind of like do a little like digging about things characters say, like speaking specifically about Christmas Carol now. I never knew that the song The Holly and the Ivy is actually about Jesus and Mary. Never knew it. And I was like, oh, this is fascinating. And so I love getting those little tidbits of things that like, oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
And then you can like use it to your advantage as an
Absolutely.
actor.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I think those two shows kind of like formed my my artistic opinion of things. I'd say my last show at OCU was just a lot of fun. I love Greek theater.
Okay.
And so I got to do I was a part of a 4-part Greek tragedy my senior year of college. So I was in part 1, which was 2 plays in 1. And I got to play a 65-year-old man that turned into a 75-year-old man. And then I think he died at the end. That's what my thought is. It's never written, but I think he died. He was so excited about the children's coming home from war, the Greeks coming home from war, and that his heart gave.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
but like that show taught me that like I love not weird theater, but off the beaten path theater. Obscure. Yes, because people don't do Greek theater very often anymore. Now, I mean, it's having a bit of a resurgence now. But
I just had the conversation with somebody here a while back. You're seeing more Socrates and even things like Chekhov and things like that, just making this resurgence. And I think bringing back this big resurgence in Shakespeare had a lot to do with that. And I think a lot of, again, for lack of a better thing to come up with, I think a lot of it had to do with the theater's funding. And funding being so tight. So we're going with the public domain plays. And in doing so, you're looking at so many of those classic authors and things like that we're just bringing those back out. But it's starting to create this whole new generation of theater lovers,
because they're taking these older plays and like giving them new life.
Yeah.
I was watching a video the other day about I think it's the National, the Bacchae by Euripides.
Mm.
They've basically taken the Bacchae and made it almost like Hamilton.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating look at the show.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
National Theater is just doing so many great things.
Such cool work.
You know, my wife and I discovered National Theater Live during the pandemic and just started watching everything and just fell in love with so many new plays and old plays that became new and all of that, you know, just, and I love what they're doing. Again, the adaptations,
Yes.
you know, taking something old, breathing new life into it, giving it something new.
Yes. It's so cool.
Just
Such
great
to watch.
So you've worn a lot of hats, actor, director, designer, technician. How do you balance those roles? And then at the same time, how do they feed each other?
Yeah. I think in terms of balancing, it takes a lot of scheduling. I am a person that's never really been all on top of my schedule, but now that I do a lot of things, I'm like, oh yeah, we have to know. It has to be in my calendar or I will forget. It will disappear out of my brain.
Fair.
And I tell if there's conflicts, please. I tell my actress like email it to me because I will forget. Don't tell me in person. I will email it to me because I will forget.
Yep.
And so being really on top of my schedule, and then the people in this community are so great and so gracious that they're like, we know you have a lot going on. How can we help you? And
Absolutely.
it means the world to me. And I do the same thing with a lot of people that I work with. Like, hey, I know you got things are happening. How can I help?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about the community here is that they're so willing and happy to help. It's made juggling things a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes them juggling things a lot easier. And then how they feed each other. You know, I really never thought about that actually. I think they kind of, like I said before, like as a director, I kind of see the broader of everything, and that kind of like helps me as a designer as well because that's that 1,000-foot view. But as an actor, I think those minuscule moments, those small details, kind of feed into me as a director, feeding me into as a designer as well, and like how people will interact with things, so people will what the light will do if they interact with this thing. I remember working with Suzette Collins for Scarlet Pimpernel, and there's a whole scene where they're all wearing red and black. And we were both like, we want this red to like scream off the stage. So I did as a lighting designer, I was like, what is going to make red scream off the stage? And the lights were purely neutral, nice warm glow, and the red. You see in the photos, the red bounces off of that stage.
Right.
And so that was a really cool thing to collaborate with her on, like how to make you look as pretty as possible.
Yeah.
And so I think like that feeds into me as a director, me as a designer, and all of those good things.
That's awesome. So you've been a part of some big name productions, some smaller productions. So some of the things on stage, you've done Rent, Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet, Greenland.
Yes, sir.
And then behind the scenes, things like on Golden Pond, Small Fire, She Kills Monsters, and California Suite. So of those, what are some of your favorites?
Oh, it's like choosing my children.
I know, right?
Oh, I don't. Some of these are my favorites for different reasons.
Absolutely.
So I think Rent has been my favorite performance, like on stage, thing I've ever done. Because again, breathing new life into a work we know.
Sure.
I had to give my flowers to Cameron King. Brilliant. Absolutely. Because I've never considered Rent in the way that she's considered Rent. Rent is grungy. It's like there's neon and lights and art everywhere. And this Rent was pure white. This age was pure white.
Oh my.
Yes, lots of scuffs. But super minimal. And I was like, oh, wait. Now we get to see relationships. Now we get to see what these people are actually fighting for. And I was an ensemble member, so I was basically one of the homeless folks that we don't get to focus on in Rent. And we lived on that stage.
Yeah.
We didn't leave.
Wow.
And it was such a cool experience to see, like, again, taking a piece that we know and pulling new stuff out of it. It was so brilliant. Like I can't talk enough about it. I think it was so awesome. So that's my favorite thing as an actor. My favorite thing as a designer. Oh, I would have to say it would have to be. I love the work it sounds so fucking presumptuous. I love the work I did. I loved getting to work on
Stroke the ego. Why not?
oh, no. What's the show called? It just left me. Brief Encounter over at Jewel Box.
Okay.
It was I believe their second year in the new space. And I had never designed in this way before. It was it's a British story about a man and a woman who have a lovely brief encounter in a coffee shop, and they continue that relationship going for about a good many months. What one would think would be so kind of like, drabby and, kind of the whole thing takes place in a coffee shop, or it's about the various locations, was so full of color because we had these lovely like moments of music and these moments of like, they like get in a boat and go across like a river, and it was like storytelling theater, and it was so much fun to light design that, because I got to do kind of whatever I wanted, and like show these moments how I saw them in my head, color wise and mood wise.
Wow.
And it was such a cool time, time. And then as a director, it's like choosing my children. I think I have a tie for my favorite work as a director.
Okay.
I would say my first favorite was August Wilson's Gem of the Ocean, when I directed it at Parks. Simply because it was my first foray into like a bigger show like that.
Okay.
Like the show's set in the 1900s, so everything was like full of detail and filigree and whatnot. So like things that like needed to exist in this room, in this house, had to exist. So I had to pick furniture, I had to pick like finishes and photos and art and things like that. I never had to do that before. So that was really, really cool. And then I had the brilliant idea in that show. If you don't know the show, it's an August Wilson play, and it is technically the first in his 10-play cycle for every American decade for the last century, or for the last century. And it focuses on a woman named Aunt Esther, and she's a 285-year-old like shaman essentially. And so people come to her house to be healed, forgiven of their pasts, etc. And the whole show takes place in basically one room in this entire house. However, there's a section in which they travel to a place called the City of Bones. The City of Bones is created by... It's a metaphorical city, but in this show it comes to life. And it's created by the slaves that didn't make it across the water in the slave trade. Mm. People that chose to either jump into the ocean or die in the boat. And so in the show, one of the main characters takes a trip to that city. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, we can't just talk about the city, we have to see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I had the brilliant idea of creating an entire new set behind the set I had to build as well. Okay. And I thank God for my amazing designers and my amazing set crew at that time. We did the show for Parks, but we did it at the Civic Center's city space. Okay. And so having to build everything and then bust it over was a new experience for me as well. Such a cool time though. My designers were so gracious and so awesome and so willing to like make this thing happen. Because I wanted the walls to move. I wanted the walls to open up.
And why not?
And why not? And why not? And then I think my second favorite, well, I guess favorite A, is the first show I ever directed, like legitimately directed, was a show called For Colored Girls Who Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to talk shit. I'm not going to say that. That's not what I want to do here. But I'm going to be very honest about something. As much as I love my time at OCU, I love my time at OCU. I had a great time. I got a lot of I was able to do a lot of things. The opportunities for folks of color were very, very minimal. Ooh. And I knew that I could help a little bit. And so that's why I chose the show that I did, because we have badass women of color in my class, below me, above me, etc., who were just amazing, and I didn't get to see them enough on stage.
Yeah.
And so let me just put them all in the same show together. And I have never had a show affect me the way that one did. Like, it gave me my language as a director. It gave me like how I like to work. It gave me my love of ensemble building. It gave me, first of all, my love of that kind of language and that kind of style of play. I love weird theater. I love weird theater and non-structured theater and storytelling style, and because it liberates you to be able to do kind of whatever you want. And so it taught me, like, because the whole show is a collection of monologues and poetry. And so, like, how do we make this not necessarily into a narrative, but how do we make this have a bit of a structure to it? And so I was able to, like, put people in, like, oh, we're in the city. We're in, this person's walking down this street. We're meeting these characters that are talked about throughout the poems. And it was just so cool to kind of, like, throw my brain at whatever all of this was to make it make sense.
Yeah.
And so I think I do love, as a director, making things make some kind of sense.
It's what we do.
That's what we do. It's
what we're supposed to do.
That's a job description.
That's it.
At the base level, you got to make it make sense.
Yeah. It's got to touch somebody. If it doesn't touch somebody, you're not doing it right. So what do you think would be the most challenging role or project you've done thus far, on stage or off stage?
Ooh. My most challenging, I think, was be off stage, and I directed California Suite. Here's the thing about me. I don't do comedy well.
Yes, you do. Yes.
I'll put it this way. I don't direct comedy well, I feel like. That's the one thing I struggle at. Is what I think is funny in my head is not always what translates.
Of course.
But, you take it as it comes. But that show, because as actors, we tend to follow, like, stage directions. Like, oh, this is written stage directions. Like, it's in here. We're trying to do it. I had to throw my stage directions away when I read that script, because we did it. I made the brilliant decision of doing it again in City Space, which is a thrust configuration. That show, I've only ever seen it presented as a proscenium style. And so it makes sense that way. There's the fedoras, So I had to kind of forego a bit of Neil Simon's original stage directions and things like that. I'm so sorry to my Neil Simon purists. I apologize. But that kind of gave me a bit of liberation to kind of figure out how to make this work in the space we were in. And that's what made it twice as difficult. Because there's a whole two rooms on this stage. One of them has a bed in it, and the other one has to have a couch. And there's all the other things that have to happen within those two furniture pieces. There's a passed out woman for half of the top of a show, half of a scene. She's passed out, which was actually a lot of fun to choreograph. Actually, that was a lot of fun. I had two really, really awesome actors playing my lovely passed out woman, and I believe it's Marvin in Visitors from Philadelphia in California Suite. And they were such good sports, and they were like, let's try this, can we try this, can we try this? I was like, yes, as long as you don't kill each other. As long as heads aren't hitting around, as long as y'all was safe, we'll figure this out together. And I love that too. I love figuring out choreography with my actors together.
Yep. Let's try it.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's weird. Like, this person's passed out, literally, and they have to move.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've trust me, I've seen Neil Simon in that show put on at a very wide stage where you've got the two rooms and a mola. But I thought what you did in a very small space worked great.
I appreciate that. I think
it really did. So, okay, so this is this your first year with Lyric and Christmas Carol?
Yes, it is.
So it's your first time playing, with those of you who have not seen the show, the Ghost of Christmas Present, which if you've not seen the show, by all means, get out, buy a ticket. It's now through
December 27th.
So you've got plenty of time to go and see the show. And there's multiple performances throughout the week. There's lots of it, but it's a great performance by Isaiah as the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
So what does it mean to you to be making that debut in the Christmas Carol at Lyric?
Ooh. Now, why do you keep stopping me with these questions?
I do.
So I started auditioning for Lyric when I was like my freshman year of college. And, you know, you're young. You don't always, you're like, I think I can do everything I want to do. Da, 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 da. And then, no, reality will stop you upside the head. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so I didn't really book with Lyric at all until actually earlier this year was my first like callback, and then like booking was in Mother Road.
Mother Road.
Which is a phenomenal play. If you've never seen it, never read it, it is such a good play.
Sequel to The Grapes of Wrath.
Yes. And it tracks the Joad family coming the opposite direction. And it's such a cool time, such a cool play, and I was so honored to do that with them. But this particular show, I've interacted with Christmas Carol before. I love the movie with George C. Scott. It's my favorite version.
Yep.
People will argue with me about the Muppets. I get it.
There's always an attraction to the Muppets, but hey, you know.
Yes, I never watched the Muppet one until I was like 20-something. It's a lovely rendition. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I do love George C. Scott. I do love it.
It's a classic.
It's a classic. And so while I was also at my apprenticeship in Louisville, Kentucky, I got to understudy Christmas Present, but then I was also one of the roles, one of Fred's friends, and the Undertaker, you know, general merriment all around. So I've been exposed to the show before, but being able to do it at this theater that I have looked up to for so long, and like this is like I am him. Like I'm not understudying. Like this is the role I'm playing. Makes me feel like I've entered into a new era of my like performance career, one that I didn't think I would see so soon. Like in college, like I'm a big guy. Like I am built Ford tough. Okay, I am built Ford tough, and so I've been playing older roles since I was like 19, and so I thought I would have to wait a lot longer for the roles that I knew I'd be playing to come along. And so for this to come at me at 30 is truly a blessing. And I'm so honored every day to walk out on the stage to tell that story.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a little sentimental here. So my mom passed this year from cancer. And so this is the first show we'll be able to get to see.
No.
But I'm glad that I'm doing a show that fills me so greatly right now.
Yeah.
When the holidays look completely different, when birthdays are going to look completely different.
Oh yeah.
And so this show warms me more than any other show I think I've done in my lifetime.
That's good.
Because hate is a hell of a drug.
Yes.
And avarice and greed are hell of a drugs. But redemption is even stronger.
Yes, that's true.
And so
we need it right now.
And we need it. And my mom was always about for the people, what can you do for your community? And I think that this is that thing.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's small, it's minuscule, and I know that.
Yeah, but it's bigger than you think.
Yeah.
Most times that's the way it is. It's always bigger than we think. And there's going to be, even if it's one, there's going to be that one person that seeing that performance changes them. There was that one person that you saw a long time ago that, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's going to be, you're going to have that for somebody.
Ah, shit.
That's what it is. So,
yeah, I remember we had like a couple of, like one of our cast members, her kid was in the audience having the time of his life. You hear me? The time of his life. Watching these kids.
Oh, yeah.
In the audience jam out, are terrified when Marley comes in, because I won't tell you how he comes in, but it's absolutely horrifying. And their eyes are locked. They're scared, but they are locked in.
Yeah.
And that is the coolest thing to watch. And even like the kids were that are in the cast with us, like Michael mentioned this, Michael Barron mentioned this, kind of our first rehearsal. It is such a community show, A Christmas Carol. And he has watched, because they've done it for so long, he's watched kids go from like Tiny Tim and become a Peter, become a Topper, and like have grown up in the show.
Yeah.
And I think that is just beautiful. It's such a beautiful, beautiful thing.
And just about everybody that's sitting in the audience, especially adult-wise, has done the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They've watched it since they were a kid. They've been, if not to the lyric, they've been and seen the live production multiple times. But it's amazing how, though the story doesn't change,
Right.
the versions, the adaptations, the presentation does. And I mean, I've seen it at Lyric before, and even with that, this version was different to me. It was new and it was fresh, and that's, to me, is what makes a difference.
Yeah.
So turning the page just a little bit, talking about your role outside of the theater, if you will, if it is that, with the Oklahoma City Parks, tell us a little bit about what that position is. What does it entail?
So I act as a program coordinator, and I call myself an artistic director as well. But program coordination is essentially like we program per center. And so what programs am I offering in my center at that particular point in time? So I offer acting, singing, dancing, all that good stuff. I also kind of like make sure scheduling's in order, budgetary, purchasing, building management, and things like that.
So you operate on Southside Oklahoma City.
Yes, sir.
Okay, over by, as we talked earlier, over by OCCC.
Yes, sir.
Oklahoma City Community College. So, how do you see your work at Sellers connecting with your mission as an artist? There's another one. There's another one.
That's a good one.
Another check that box off.
I think my mission as an artist has kind of shifted throughout my life, I think. So I think when I first began my kind of artistic journey, I just want to pay my rent. I just want to pay my rent.
That's fair.
But now I think it's a matter of like access. And I even have to fight with myself sometimes of like, who gets access to art? Because it's stupid that not everybody has access to art.
Yeah.
And I have to battle with myself about it too. Like everyone deserves art, no matter what their income is, no matter where they come from. They deserve access to art.
Yep.
And then it's years of me unlearning who has access to art.
Yeah.
I have to unlearn all of that, and I really am trying to do that. And this job really pushes me to do that as well.
And it's a shame that we have to learn that
Right.
who has access.
Right.
Because, like you said, everybody deserves to have the art.
Right. Because look at the research. Like it impacts people so much more greatly than, as much as I am a sports fan. That's a lie. I'm a little bit of a sports fan, but the arts have such a greater impact on our lives because you can't walk down the street without seeing some kind of art.
Yeah.
You can't. And so I want to offer that to my community. Here's an access point for you for quality performances. Like, it shocked me when I went and saw, this is no shade, it's a little bit of shade, but it's not a whole lot of shade. I went and saw, when I was in New York for my senior showcase at college, went and saw a couple of Broadway shows while I was there, because that's what you do. And nothing compared to the off-Broadway show that I saw in a theater that was like 45 seats.
Wow.
It was a one-woman show about Iphigenia before she gets like scooped up and married off or whatever. It was like a new version of it too, like modern dress, etc. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then I went and saw Chicago the next night and was a little bit disappointed.
It was corporate.
Yes.
Yeah.
It felt, dare I say, dusty.
Oh my.
It felt dusty.
Okay.
Mind you, the performers were great. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. It was a lovely show, but it lacked.
It wasn't anything new.
Right.
Yeah, it was the same old thing. Yeah.
Right. It was the same old thing. I didn't feel like it was alive or fresh. And then I started watching the community theaters in Oklahoma City, and everyone is doing such cool, fresh, exciting work, even if the plays are old.
Yeah.
Something about them is just so exciting in this community. The way these people think in this community about plays and about theater is fascinating and fun and interesting. And I will always advocate for community theaters. People talk shit about community theaters all the time, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Because so many people get their start here.
Yeah.
In community theater.
Even if they don't get if it's not just their start, there's a lot of great talent across this state. That's the whole reason why I started this podcast.
Yes.
There's people out there. I talk about it a lot, that when the idea was coming out about this, that if you're not involved in Oklahoma City or Tulsa, And usually in some big production or a long running production, people don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You have no identity.
Mhm.
And we were learning through many of the productions that I was seeing here in Oklahoma City that there is a lot of people coming in from Enid, Ardmore,
Mhm.
Lawton, Muskogee, very, very talented people that nobody knows who they are.
Mhm.
Somebody needs to tell their story or give them the platform to tell their story.
Right.
I had to do it.
Right.
So that's why I'm doing it. So yeah, there's a lot of people. They never go on to stardom,
Mhm.
but are still stars.
Mhm. And mind you, you are doing a show around life. That's what I think people understand. Like, community theater happens around life.
Well, yeah.
You are learning lines while you're doing dishes.
Oh yeah.
You're recording your lines, listening to them in the car when you're in carpool pickup.
Yep. 95% of all performers in community theater have a full-time job that has nothing to do with theater.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of them, So, okay. So as we bring 2025 to a close, what goals do you have for yourself for 2026?
There you go again. There you go again.
I'm making you think. This is all right, sir.
I think I have not thought about this before. So I think it will change between then and the end of the year. But I think my goal for 2026, one of them at least, is to just continue to provide a space in which, whether you perform for years or you performed for months or perform for days, you still get to be a part of something very, very quality. And you're going to learn a lot. My 2 goals with every show I ever direct is you're going to learn something and you're going to have a good time. And so I want to continue to do that for people.
Yeah.
Especially as we shift into this new, whatever the new year is going to look like, I think we need to hold on to each other a lot more, personally. And so another goal of mine is to really continue to foster more community engagement amongst theater companies and amongst artists as well, because we're going to need each other. I think.
Oh my.
I really do think so. We're going to need each other, and so. And I'm an anxious person, so I have a hard time like reaching out to people and like I got something I'm working on, but I want to break down that wall of myself to be like, hey, how can we partner? How can we do things together? How can we figure some stuff out?
Yeah.
And both at my job as they allow me to do those kinds of things, and then in my personal life, in my personal projects and things like that as well. How can I continue to push art to other people?
Okay.
And gather them into the fold of, though this isn't what you do all the time, I'm glad that you're patroning the arts. I'm glad that you're taking a chance on something that you had never seen before. I'm glad you're taking a chance on like a classic. And so I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah.
I hope that makes a lot of sense and I'm not rambling.
100%. 100%. So are there any projects for you on the horizon, either on or off stage?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I'm in the middle of not renovating a cellar, well, transforming cellars into our new performing arts center at Parks. So I've been kind of back in procuring things and money and things like that. So I mean, kind of a bit of a hiatus right now. But as soon as that's done, I think we're gonna do a couple of like smaller cabaret style shows of a little sketch comedy, a little sing a song, a little some fun and cute. But I'm also teaching my kids class this coming semester. So I'm excited about that. I have a guy with 6 kids that I just love. I love those kids. God, I love those kids. And they're such funny people. Such funny people. But they're good. And they work hard and they're excited to be there. And so that's what makes me excited to work with them.
Okay. So put your thinking cap on again.
Ah, shit.
If you could dream big, what's a role or production you'd love to tackle in the next few years?
If I could dream big.
I mean, I could go as far as to say, if budget was no concern, but we won't go there.
Oh, man, if I could dream big, I think as an actor, Ooh. This question's like, what's my dream role? I think our dream role's kind of shifted a little bit.
Sure.
I think I would love to be in another August Wilson play.
Okay.
The way the man writes
Yeah.
is just, it's just so good. I would love to be in another one. In a roundabout way, I got to be in one. I had an actor when I directed Jim of the Ocean who had to be out for the last weekend, so I stepped in for him.
Okay.
Which I got to play my dream role, so it worked out fine. But to be able to do another August Wilson show would be an absolute dream. And then I think as a director, I love the musical Cabaret. I love it. And I think that we are in the prime time for it. I'm not going to lie.
That's true.
I think we are in the prime time for a show like that.
And several theaters have done it around
Mhm.
Oklahoma and made a fortune doing it. So it'd be a killer for any theater to pick up.
Yes, sir. I love the show. I loved when they were on Broadway. I think that's how you do a revival. Like they they renovated an entire theater. Aside the point. But it felt fun. It felt fresh. It felt even naughtier than it usually does. And through my job, I've been blessed to be able to fund hiring a live band. And so I love giving people the opportunity to sing with a live band. You don't get to do that very often.
Mm-hmm.
And so the live band for that is just, the orchestration is so cool. And it's just a fun, funky show. And it's a little bit naughty. I love a little naughty in a show. And yeah, I think it's just be such a fun time. And yeah, it gets heavy, and it gets heavy, and it gets hard. But it's the party at the end of the world.
Yeah.
So why not go out with a bang?
Yeah, it's like there's all this darkness going on around it, but there's so much life in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what theater needs to be, especially right now.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. The big question.
Oh, shit.
The big question. This is the one that we kind of got to hit everybody with. So at the heart of it all, why theater?
That's just not fair. That is just not fair. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without crying.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Why theater? Honestly, it began at first because I'm the baby child and attention.
I think that's fair for all of us. Yeah.
But as I got older, I think, and I go back to the Color Purple because I remember after one show one night, I was trying to figure out, this is what I want to do. To hear the sniffles in the audience, to hear the words of affirmation being shouted. I mean, I love when an audience reacts. Personally, I love it. Talk to the stage. Go ahead then. But to hear that audibly and to feel the room so silent you can hear a pin drop, it did something to me, because that's how I knew, like, this is affecting people in a way, and I wanted to affect people. And then as I got older and through college, I was like, oh, this isn't just about affecting people. This is for people.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be for the people as much as I possibly can as an artist and give them the opportunity to be in this, because hopefully they can see what I can see and feel what I can feel. And sometimes they can't, sometimes they can't, and I can't control that.
Sure.
But giving them the option to try to experience something like that. And now that I'm older, I think now nothing else has made as much sense as theater has. I wasn't good at math in college or in school for any point in my life for that matter. History, English, pretty good at it, actually. Could do English really, really well. What's the last one? Science. I wanted to be a scientist for a long time, and then middle school hit, and that dream went out the window. But nothing has ever made more sense to me than theater.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have to think about it too much. Yes, there's a level of thought in it. I'm
Sure.
I'm not trying to brag, but when the thought comes, it's not scary. It's not something that's going to take me a lot of, like,
There's a ghost in here.
There's a ghost in here.
Okay. Every theater has one.
Every theater has one. Jesus Christ, that was terrifying. When the thought comes out, I have to it's not scary and laborious to me. It's like a work that I want to figure out how to do. Like when I directed Chico's Monsters over Carpenter Square, I knew, because I've seen the show before, I knew how hard that show was going to be. But it didn't terrify me. Because I was like, we can figure this out.
Yeah.
I think that's what gets me through, is like, we can figure this out in theater. Yeah, nothing because also made as much sense to me. And I don't. And yes, speaking of, like, I had to be an adult eventually and like get a job where I had insurance. Now it's a matter of like, how can I use my position to kind of more fit back towards art? And now I'm forewaying into arts administration and arts policy and kind of figuring out development and funding and how we can continue to do this long term. And so you talking about this apprenticeship. I was an apprentice in Actors Theater of Louisville when I was like 2019, 2020. And every year, much like Lyric, they do a production of Christmas Carol and production of Dracula. And the way that community turns up and turns out for those shows was fascinating to me. And so I kept thinking about like a cultural institution and its impact on its community. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does it mean for us to have a Lyric? What does it mean for us to have a Jewel Box? What does it mean for us to have a storyteller? What does it mean for us to have these places? And how do they affect us? And how do we as a community affect those places? Yeah. And those are the things I think that fascinate me about this industry, this theater, this art form. Because at the end of the day, it's about people.
Yeah.
And I'm an extroverted introvert. I don't like people sometimes. But theater's helped me work through that, I think.
Yeah.
Hope that was comprehensive enough.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, so we're going to wrap up and have a little fun. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I try to end every episode with what we call our curtain call curveballs.
Oh.
Just curveball questions. Sometimes not necessarily to do anything with theater. So just off the wall, fun stuff. Just answer with the first thing that comes to your head when you hear the question. All right? First off, if you could instantly master any skill outside of theater, what would it be?
Ooh, stained glass.
Stained glass.
Stained glass.
That's an interesting one.
Because I grew up a Lego kid, and so like I love working with my hands.
Okay.
I'm very tactile.
Yeah.
So like I love how to do stained glass.
Okay. Very fun. What's the most unusual job you've ever imagined yourself doing if you weren't in the arts?
A gemologist.
Kind of goes back to the stained glass and the Lego. Yeah. Very good.
It's shiny. Shiny, pretty things.
Little ADHD thing going on there. Ooh, shiny stuff. Yeah, okay. If your life had a theme song, what would it be?
Ooh. My life, I think someone would be Vanessa Carlton. I need you. 1,000 miles.
Okay.
Yes, 1,000 miles.
On my way downtown.
Walking past. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I like that one, by the way. Okay, so after a long rehearsal or performance, what's your favorite go-to comfort food?
If I'm buying food, it's Mickey D's chicken nuggets. Hands down. I'm a McNugget lover.
Okay.
Period, point blank. If I'm cooking, it's anything with rice and eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, I love a rice bowl with like chicken and eggs and whatnot. But I will eat an egg sandwich at midnight. I don't care. I'll eat an egg sandwich at midnight. I do not care anything about it.
Egg is my number one protein.
Yes.
Whatever. If you could swap lives with any historical figure for one day, who would it be and why?
I would say, I don't know. I don't know what I would say, actually. I'll pick somebody. I think Newton.
Yeah. Okay. Why not?
I can catch an apple.
He couldn't.
Exactly.
Okay. What's the strangest or funniest backstage mishap you've ever witnessed?
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
So when I did Hamlet at OSP, the scene at the end where he fights Laertes, and we were rehearsing. I would give our Hamlet his gloves to fight, with the swords. Keep him pretty. One night I forgot the gloves, completely spaced it, and I realized they were in my pocket. So I left the scene, and this was when OSP was back at the water stage. So there's nowhere to hide. You just gotta take the walk of shame. So I walked all the way up the stairs, all the way back down to the dressing room, came all the way back, and got back on stage, gave me these gloves right on time. Very proud of myself. But he told me later, Luke Eddy was our Hamlet at the time. He came back and told me later, he turned around at one point in time when I was gone. He was like, ah, shit. He turned back around into the scene. And then he turned around again and I was there. And I was like, oh, no one will ever know. Yeah, I mean, they do now, but.
There were probably some that knew.
Probably some that knew.
Because anytime you do classic theater, Shakespeare, things like that, you do something different. There's little purists out there that are like, wait, that wasn't
laser audience.
Exactly. Okay. Are you an animal person?
To a point.
Okay. Cats, dogs, or something completely different?
I prefer cats. I don't have any cats.
Okay.
I don't need anything that eats and poops more than I do.
Okay, fair. Do you have any animals right now?
I don't.
Okay.
Like I said, nothing that eats and poops more than I do.
So there you go. Okay.
You can take that out if you want.
Well, it's whatever. Whatever.
Wait, I want to answer again. Hold on. This is the real answer. I do prefer cats. I prefer cats. Yeah, I love the kitty. I don't know. I've never owned a pet before. Actually, I had fish, plenty of fish. But I do prefer cats, and a dog here and there. I love a Labrador.
Why not?
Why not?
I have all the pets. So finally, if you could send a letter to your younger self, say in middle school, what would it say?
Ooh. I think it would say something along the lines of, "You are the weirdest kid I've ever freaking met." But here's the thing. That's going to work out all right for you. We are going to be just fine. You're going to struggle. It's going to be weird. Some strange things are going to happen to you and for you. There'll be medical scares. There'll be deaths. There'll be funerals. There'll be lots of parties, lots of graduations, lots of Thanksgivings you may miss. Things you're going to miss. But remember to be a human first and to love everybody and to love yourself. And remember that you are far more powerful than you realize. Yeah.
Sincerely.
Isaiah.
That was good. That was really good. So we're wrapping this all up. Isaiah, thank you for taking the time to sit and talk with us a little bit. Thank you for being open about your journey. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, this has been a great time. So any parting words of wisdom for those folks out there listening?
I would say parting words of wisdom is be a human first. Be a human first. And realize that you're working with humans first anyway. Yes, this is an industry, and yes, we have to work, but we shouldn't be miserable. We die at the end of this.
Yeah.
We die at the end of this.
Nobody makes it out alive.
Right. So might as well have a good time on the way there.
Yep. Good stuff, man. Thanks, brother. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you, good sir.
I enjoyed this time just sitting around chatting about theater.
Yeah.
As the rest of you guys listening at home or in your car or wherever it is you're listening, we thank you for your time, giving us a little bit of your window into the world. Continue to live life, continue to find your niche. And as Isaiah has said several times, love each other. Love one another. And I know it's kind of cheesy. You hear it on TV all the time. Love one another. But seriously, we're at a point now we need to be loving one another. We need to be patient with one another. And we need to support each other. So,
and love is hard, but love is also a choice.
That is true.
And it's a verb.
Yep. There you go. Thanks again, folks. We appreciate it. And no matter what you do, continue to support the arts.
Oklahoma on stage.